We have some major leaked information here for Black Ops Cold War Zombies. Are we going to be getting a Season 1 Zombies map for Black Ops Cold War, or is this just a rumor? And there's a bunch of cut content, a bunch of leaks about the Ray Rifle, Mule Kick, Panzer Soldats, Jetpacks actually being within Black Ops Cold War Zombies. Will it be in a DLC season in the future? Is this content cut entirely? We're going to go through that in this video as well. So a lot of interesting stuff to cover here. If you can't leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel for more Black Ops Cold War content. That would be greatly appreciated. Shout out to the members as always. Let's get started here. Now, the first thing we have to talk about here is the Season 1 Black Ops Cold War Zombies map that a bunch of people were talking about on Twitter yesterday. Here is where the leak came from, I'm pretty sure. Season 1 map names and weapons. So this guy lists the maps that were leaked: Dune, Maul, Apocalypse, and Echelon. And he says Apocalypse is a Zombies map. And I actually had these map leaks. I made a video on this a couple of days ago, a couple of weeks ago actually, and we said that these are multiplayer maps. It's been known for a while now that these are all multiplayer maps for the game. Now, a lot of people thought this could be a Zombies map just based on this guy pretty much saying it's a Zombies map. The Gaming Revolution came out and said this. Fake info. Skizzalax says Apocalypse is a multiplayer map ? And TGR says yes. So this is unfortunately not a full Zombies map, most likely a multiplayer map or a multiplayer mode. In the coding of Black Ops Cold War, nothing indicates that it's a Zombies map, and we've said this time and time again. Season 1, most likely we're not getting a full launch map. That's going to be Season 2, the beginning of February, which is kind of on track with the past DLC releases for zombie maps. We usually get a new Zombies map for DLC 1 end of January, beginning of February, with the exception of Black Ops 4. We got the first DLC Zombies map in December, which was Dead of the Night, but all of the past Treyarch zombie map releases, especially DLC 1, has always been end of January, early February. So that is the time to really look for the first Zombies map coming to the game. Now, also originally, after completing Die Maschine's main quest, you would load into a separate match of Untoten Survival and its classic Untoten. It was cut for unknown reasons, maybe for an upcoming DLC map. This is very interesting, and I would like to know if you would spawn into the classic World at War Untoten or the Black Ops Cold War version of Untoten, because we talked about Untoten being a separate standalone survival map a couple of months ago at launch for Black Ops Cold War Zombies, and my theory was simply that they would have a separate side map, Untoten Survival, and it would include all of the remade version of Untoten in Black Ops Cold War, and maybe also include the spawn just outside Untoten as well in the survival map. And also, it would be pretty cool to see this as a survival map maybe in Season 1 of Black Ops Cold War Zombies. Since we're not getting a full DLC map for Season 1 most likely, maybe adding in this Untoten side survival map would be a cool little thing to hold us over, keep us interested, have a little challenge, and just have a little extra content in the game until we get the first official DLC map for Black Ops Cold War Zombies. Now let's get into some really cool information here. The Cheeseburger Boys, he's posted leaks before for Black Ops Cold War Zombies, other leaks in general. He goes through a bunch of the leaks that we've talked about in the past that have been data mines from the alpha, the beta of Black Ops Cold War that actually was cut, a bunch of the zombies content that was cut from the game, stuff that could be coming in DLCs, stuff that was completely cut. There are no textures, no files for it anymore in the game, and there's a lot of really cool stuff here that maybe should have been brought to the game and that hopefully we can see in the DLC season of Black Ops Cold War Zombies. Cold War Zombies cut content mega thread. To start this off, this is content that was found in the pre-alpha, alpha, and dev builds of Cold War, including word of mouth by testers. Now, the first thing here was that Die Maschine was supposed to have a tutorial mode, and in this tutorial mode, you would start off normally, pistol in hand, and killing zombies. It would essentially just teach you how to turn on the power, and this would end the match right after. The changes in this tutorial mode were that Quick Revive was the spawn location, and Deadshot was moved around in a different location. What happened here is pretty obvious. They just implemented this feature into the base game, because in the base zombies game, they pretty much tell you how to get to power, what to do when you're at power, how to get the Pack-a-Punch part. Everything really tells you what's going on in the game, so there's no real need for a separate tutorial mode in this game. They kind of just integrated it into the base Die Maschine game. Next thing here, Sledgehammer had around 4 to 6 months on development before Treyarch stepped in. Zombies was supposed to be a follow-up story to World War II's, but was changed to fit the Ether story. I'm going to be honest, I haven't actually heard of this leak before. I don't know exactly if this is 100% true, but it does seem like this could have very well happened. We do know for sure that Sledgehammer and Raven were originally working on Call of Duty 2020, so it kind of does make sense that Sledgehammer were around 4 to maybe 6 months into development of the entirety of the game, specifically Zombies, and maybe their early drafts were that the story is going to be a sequel to World War II. It would have the tutorial mode and all different stuff that Sledgehammer had within, World War II Zombies. Now, there's some slight Sledgehammer influence in Black Ops Cold War Zombies, but for the most part, this definitely feels like a Treyarch Zombies, and regardless if this is true or not, they came in and they changed a lot, and they made it a Treyarch Zombies game mode. Next thing here, Chaos Story was obviously cut due to many reasons. People did not care about that universe. I think this was a fact. Back in Black Ops 4, they originally cut the storyline halfway through the DLC season of Black Ops 4 because people just did not care, and the launch of Black Ops 4 was so terrible, and there was just no interest in the Chaos storyline, at least for the most part. I know some people did care about the Chaos storyline, but for a large portion of people, they just weren't interested in the Chaos storyline, and they had to stop the Chaos storyline halfway through the DLC season of Black Ops Cold War, and they brought Tag Untoten and Alpha Omega earlier than they were originally supposed to. So that's just a fact. We've known that for a while now, and I guess they're just confirming that for Black Ops Cold War Zombies, there was no way we were going back to any continuation of the Chaos storyline, and that's why we have to do this whole kind of reboot of the Ether storyline, the Dark Ether, allowing them to use some of the original assets from the Ether storyline, such as the Mystery Box, the Perks, Samantha, Eddie returns, a bunch of operators will probably return as well. Old Treyarch Ether storyline assets are here, but with a new storyline, so that's obviously why they went in that direction. It just proves to be more popular, and more people are just interested in the Ether storyline aspects. Next thing here, there are going to be 5 tiers per skill upgrades, might come in DLC to make upgrading even more useful. Now, this I know for sure is a fact. I saw the 5 tiers per skill upgrade leaks, and they brought it down to 3 in a recent build of Black Ops Cold War. And I think this is a complete fact as well. In the DLC seasons of Black Ops Cold War, we're going to continue to get new perks added to the game, and I also think we're going to get new tiers added to each of the perks, the weapon classes, the field upgrades, and we're going to be able to upgrade them more and more and more to a max of 5 tiers instead of 3 tiers. They're definitely going to do that to add DLC content. They probably didn't want to add all 5 tiers in right at launch, because then they couldn't add more tiers in the DLC season. So they give us 3 at launch, and then 4 midway through the season, and towards the end of Black Ops Cold War, they give us another tier slot for all the different perks and upgrades to upgrade as well. So that makes complete sense. I could definitely see that come very soon in the game. Another thing here, Mule was reportedly in development, which is very interesting and very plausible as well. This game just needs Mule. It's not a necessity, but a lot of people are just in situations where Mule would be very nice to have. The ray gun, the spaz, and the shockwave would be a perfect setup for high rounds. It looks like they planned on having this perk as one of the main perks in the game, but most likely this is not completely cut. We will probably see this as one of the DLC perks that will be added to Black Ops Cold War Zombies throughout the season of this game. They already confirmed that we're going to be getting new DLC perks for the DLC seasons for Black Ops Cold War Zombies, so Mule most likely will be one of those perks. Next thing here, Wunderfizz will allow you to drink future DLC perks in maps that do not contain said perk. again, makes complete sense. I talked about this in my video a couple of days ago. Let's say Mule Kick, the Mule Kick perk machine is added into the Season 2 DLC Zombies map for Black Ops Cold War. And obviously, the perk machine for Mule Kick will not be in the Maschine, but you will still be able to access the Mule Kick perk through Wunderfizz. Makes sense. That's what they're going to do for all of the DLC perks, so that's pretty much a guarantee there at that point. Now, there was also a mini boss in Die Maschine that was leaked called the Mecha Z, and apparently it was similar to a Panzer Soldat with a new faceplate and a machine gun on its left arm. It was also supposed to have a jetpack. And apparently, there are a bunch of other jetpack lines of code in the game. I covered this leak back in September, so I do know the validity of this leak here. I've seen it before. Definitely, I do think they decided that enough was enough for Die Maschine. They have the megatons, and that's it. The Mecha Z was most likely brought over to a future DLC Zombies map, maybe DLC 1. Dreisendrach, we had the Panzer, and DLC 1 for Black Ops Cold War Zombies, we have another version of the Panzer, the Mecha Z here. The jetpacking, I remember talking about this at the end of one of my leaked information videos for Black Ops Cold War Zombies, like I said, back in September, and I was saying most likely the jetpacking isn't an actual feature that we get to use, and if we do get to use it, it's not going to be like throughout the entire Zombies game, we're just jetpacking around. More than likely, jetpacking in Zombies would be for a specific function. It would be a one-time use here. And this guy's saying that jetpacking most likely was just for the Panzer Soldat boss, the Mecha Z, and he would be able to jetpack around, which in that case is fine. That is something a boss zombie, especially the Panzer Soldat, would do to get around the map to come to attack you. So that makes perfect sense as to why the jetpack would be in the code for that specific reason. Another thing here, which we've talked about as well recently, cut wonder weapon, the ray rifle. We talked about the ray rifle back in September. We also talked about it a couple of days ago. It's pretty unfortunate to see this guy saying that there are no textures, nothing of it exists in the game, so it must have been cut very early on, which honestly does suck. I hope they do bring it back in some sort of way in the DLC season for Black Ops Cold War Zombies. And like we said the other day, ray rifle, most of the new ray guns were added in the DLC 3, the third Zombies DLC map in Treyarch Zombies in the past, so maybe we'll get it alongside the third Zombies DLC map that will be released. Hopefully we do. A new version of the ray gun would be pretty sick. The ray rifle sounds kind of interesting, but unfortunately, again, within the code, there is just nothing of it. It's simply just the file name. There's no textures, there's nothing. I mean, sometimes a bunch of these leaks don't have any other assets associated with it, so maybe we will still see the ray rifle at some point, and maybe they're gonna turn it into a different type of weapon. It might not actually be called the ray rifle, might be called something else. Maybe we'll still see a new version of the ray gun in the future, just nothing like what we're talking about here. So we'll have to see what the deal is there, but very sad to see. I definitely want to see a bunch of cool DLC wonder weapons. New versions of the ray gun would be really, really cool. Now, the last thing here isn't technically Zombies cut content, but apparently there were two builds of multiplayer originally, one with manual healing and the other one with auto healing. And obviously, I think for the most part, people would rather have the auto healing. It's more classic Call of Duty. Although manual healing wasn't that bad in Black Ops 4, and I think once you got the hang of it, once you got used to it, it really wasn't that bad. The only reason why I'm including this here is because I'm thinking Black Ops 4 didn't bring manual healing from multiplayer into Zombies, but what if they did some crazy stuff? We did see a lot of changes with Cold War Zombies, and if they did have manual healing in multiplayer, what if they brought manual healing over into Zombies? I don't know how everyone would take that. I think that would be a hugely unpopular thing here. Obviously, we do have stim shot in Zombies, and I think stim shot's really useful in the game, but obviously it's not required to have that in the game. You don't have to click L1 every time you want to heal yourself. You just auto heal like you've always been able to in Zombies. I think that if they changed that, that would be a change that most people did not like. So I'm glad we just have the normal automatic healing in the game. So that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know what you guys think about all these leaks down below. What do you want to see for DLC content? Are you glad some of this stuff was cut? Let me know down below. Leave a comment below, zombies. If you watched the whole video, it is greatly appreciated. I will see you guys in the next video or live stream. Goodbye.